What if your voice disappeared right when you needed it most? This is the story of a lion who forgot how to roar, and how he found his voice again. In a strong lion pride, where the sound of powerful roars echoed across the sunny savanna, one young lion was different. His legs were strong, his eyes were bright, but his roar was gone. Every time he opened his mouth, his throat froze. Fear squeezed his sound into silence, leaving only a small, broken sound where a mighty roar should have been. The other young lions would practice their roars together, their powerful voices shaking the ground. Seeing him struggle, they joked, "You're a lion with no roar. Who will respect you?" Their mouths would open wide, unleashing thunderous sounds, and then the scene would cut to him, quiet and embarrassed. The more they laughed, the smaller he felt. He started to walk at the back of the pride, avoiding practice sessions, his gaze fixed on the ground. He began to believe their words, feeling invisible in his own family. One night, tired of the shame and the feeling of being an outsider, he walked far away from the pride. He found himself alone in a small, quiet valley with only the stars above for company. He thought, "Maybe I am broken. Maybe I don't belong here." He looked up at the vast, silent sky and tried one more time to roar, to let out the frustration and sadness he felt. But nothing came out. The sky stayed quiet. His heart felt as empty and dark as the valley around him. Just as he was about to give up, a calm voice spoke from the shadows. From a rock above, an old lioness watched him with kind eyes. "I remember you," she said gently. "You roared very loudly when you were a cub." A brief image flashed in his mind. A small, playful cub letting out a surprisingly loud roar, full of life and confidence. The old lioness continued, "You didn't lose your roar. You just covered it with fear." She didn't tell him to just roar louder or to try harder. Instead, she said, "First, breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your chest expand. Your roar is not only in your throat, it is in your story." She guided him to close his eyes and remember. Slowly, he recalled every time he had been brave without needing a sound. He remembered standing up for a younger cub, finding a hidden water source during a drought, and surviving a dangerous stampede. He remembered his strength, his kindness, his resilience. Sunrise, the sky was painted with shades of pink and orange. The two lions stood together on a hill overlooking the savanna. The old lioness nodded at him. She said, "Don't try to impress anyone. Don't roar for them. Just tell the sky you're here." He took a deep breath, feeling the air fill him not with anxiety, but with purpose. His eyes were wet with emotion as he let out a roar. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't the loudest roar on the plains. But it was deep, true, and it shook his very bones. It was finally his. When he returned to the pride, the reactions were mixed. Some lions clapped their paws in support. Others rolled their eyes, still unimpressed. But for the first time, he didn't care. He didn't measure his roar against theirs. He knew his voice had value, not because of its volume, but because of its truth. If you ever feel like you have no voice in your class At your job, in your own home, or in your life, remember the quiet lion. Your voice is not gone. It's just waiting for you, right behind your fear and deep inside your story. This is Learn English with Stories. And your voice still matters.